Women should just accept themselves and stop there.
So in front of the class, she actually said that I would never get hired and that I would only be good for making coffees.
More than just being an international designer, she's a global Filipina. One of the most coveted accessory designers in the world today. This is a kind of conversation that would make me and you richer in terms of perspective and insights. Because here's a lady who does not settle. Bea, welcome to OLAY Conversations.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing this. Today, when you say Bea Valdes, is tantamount to being a huge success.
Really?
Not just here, but internationally. How'd you get into Vogue?
Let's see. It was a bit roundabout. We did some work for an American designer and manufacturing his
Who is
pieces.
this?
His name is Takun, and he had these wonderful pearl collars, and it was his design. And he was looking for a small company to do the embroidery, which we did. And afterwards, I said, if you don't mind, may I show you some of the beaded work that we do? So we sent him some pictures, and he was gracious enough to send it to the then accessories director at Vogue, and she immediately wanted to see the pieces.
And what happened?
It was very interesting because she just wanted the samples, but then I felt that I didn't want to send them all alone, so on a lark, we flew there to present it ourselves. And I remember...
There was where?
New York.
New York, and?
And I was with my two sisters, and we didn't know what was going to happen, and we came with our maleta, and I think it was drizzling, and we went up the Vogue offices, and we didn't even get in. We were just in the lobby, and we opened the maleta and showed them, and they said the most wonderful things. And it was just so encouraging. And then they took the pieces because they wanted to shoot it immediately, and then they wanted to shoot me as well for the whole story of how it came about. And I remember when we got down from the elevator, the three of us were jumping up and down. it was quite an experience.
Wow.
So.
You have the trademark shape, right? I read about that story. How did it happen? That lopsided?
Yes. One of the things we do, we have this bulb-shaped bag, and it's almost like a globe. And I remember it actually started because when we were first starting, a girl was trying to bead it. So it comes in three parts. So there's a side, and a bottom. And when she put it together, it was terribly deformed. And I remember normally you would say, well, that's a mistake, and you would take it away. But my assistant and I, we tried to figure out how to still make it very round. And it took us a few days, but through different mechanisms, we got to make this perfect bulb shape from something that was very irregular. And so the mistake actually became our signature shape.
Take me to those moments when you had doubts about yourself. How did you move beyond those moments?
I won't spend a fortune, but I want my skin to look like I do.
Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream works at a cellular level, proven to out-moisturize luxury creams worth over $400 for dramatically younger looking skin. Regenerist from Olay, your best beautiful.
It's not always perfect.
No.
It's not always perfect. Take me to those moments when you had doubts about yourself, about your worth, about your relevance, about your beauty, and how did you move beyond those moments?
You know, when you have people around you who really support you and believe in you, they can remind you of your strengths. And here's my example. It's a bit funny. I went to school abroad, and the way that I work is a bit, my method is upside down, because I start from the last part and then I go all the way to the first part. I've always worked this way, and it's not very conventional, but I think the head teacher in the school was very upset with it. So in front of the class, she actually said that I would never get hired and that I would only be good for making coffees. So I remember, and this was art school or design school, and it was very hurtful. So I went home and I spoke with my mother on the phone, and I remember I was feeling very, very bad. And she told me, she goes, you know what, you can design and I know you can draw, but what you have to learn to do is deal with people. She said that is the bigger task at hand.
So when you were told that you were just good enough to make coffee, are you vengeful? Because I would go back to her and say, hey, I'm not doing coffee for anybody now.
Well, I think instead of being vengeful, what I did do is I just kept on working actually, and I believed in what I was doing really very strongly, and not just that project, but the next project and the next project, and you just work even harder without necessarily being nasty back, because I don't believe in that. But at the end of that term in that school, what they did do was they put up all the students' works and they invited designers from outside to come and judge. And I won the designer's prize. So, and then that teacher eventually helped me get my first job. So I think the best way, instead of being vengeful, is to maybe just do what you can do and hopefully change their minds about it.
When somebody tells you, Bea, you are so beautiful, how do you react?
I'm flattered. I'm flattered. It's not something I think of very often, but I think it's very sweet of them to say.
But whose voice is important to you? In the context of validation, for example. There are days when, you know,
I have
you know,
days.
there are days when we like to be told you look good, you know.
In the end, it's probably my own voice that's important to me. I think if I'm happy with what I do, then I feel good.
There's this thinking that women should just accept themselves and stop there. Your thoughts?
I think acceptance is a very important thing, but at the same time, I think if you see places where you can improve or do something a bit better, be kinder to someone, or maybe work a little bit harder, I think people should do that, because self-improvement is a step beyond acceptance. I think, you know, you shouldn't settle for just things as they are, because there's always a way to improve.
Are you happy with who you are? And are you in a good place?
Yes, I am. It's funny. I'm 41, and I think when I was small, I've always looked forward to this age, because I thought it would be an age that you could do a lot of things. I think in your earlier ages, you're still finding yourself and finding your way. But by the time you're 40, you've really found your own voice. And then it's really the time to use it, and use it wisely. Some of the people that I loved listening to when I was younger were always the older people. I loved the stories that they had, and I love the experiences that they shared. And I always thought it would be wonderful to come to a point where I have those own stories. And I think it would only be age and experience that would get me to a point where I could come back and actually have my own stories to tell. So I was actually very much looking forward to being an adult and even older and having the same sort of adventures.
What about the wrinkles?
I think I'm conscious of.
I want long-lasting moisture for my body, not just for my face.
Introducing new OLAY Moisture Outlast Body Wash. With breakthrough skincare technology, penetrates your skin surface layer by layer and deeply locks moisture with every wash. So your skin stays moisturized for up to 24 hours.
Your best beautiful starts in the shower.
New OLAY Moisture Outlast Body Wash Collection. OLAY, your best beautiful.
What about the wrinkles?
The wrinkles are part of life, I think.
You've never been afraid about wrinkles?
I think I'm conscious of it, but definitely not afraid.
Bakit mo kailangan ng OLAY?
I think everybody needs some sort of way to take care of themselves, and I think that's also something that's very relevant with me. I have sensitive skin, so I wanted to test it out first before I put it on my face, because I would always react to other products. So what I did is, I remember I was in the workshop, and my hands are always the most abused apart because I use them every day, and I think they're far older than the rest of me. So I had put on one hand the Regenerist to see. And I remember after 10 minutes, I could see the difference, and I was going around to everybody showing them, and I had left it the whole day just to check. So it was actually very surprising how effective it was. And then I started using it as well. And I use it at night. And I use the OLAY Regenerist with SPF during the day. But aside from that, it is their facial cleanser that I use, which I find very mild and very effective.
That's it.
Yes, that's basic. It's very basic for me. I have sensitive skin, so I think I just need few things, but that they must be very, very good.
Women are eavesdropping on this conversation, and they want to be their best beautiful. Your single most important piece of advice?
I don't know, it's the same. Just don't settle. If you think you can be a little bit better, take care of yourself a little bit more. And I think look at it from a whole point of view, a holistic point of view, which is what you eat, how you sleep, how you treat yourself, what you put into your body, and then also your regimen. I think it's all connected.
I'm Bea Valdes. I'm an OLAY woman because?
Because I believe in being best beautiful. I believe in trying to be a little bit better every day.
And because you don't settle.
Because I don't settle.
Thank you, Bea.
Thank you as well.
I will not forget some very powerful lines from Bea Valdes. When I asked her, whose voice counts the most? She answered, my voice. My standard is my own best. In designing, looking at a piece and making it the best it could be. At nung tinanong ko siya, how rich are you? She simply answered, very rich with the things that count. Maraming salamat, Bea. This is Boy Abunda for OLAY Conversations.
I will make the years count, but that won't show on my face. I'm proud to be an OLAY woman.